For 200 years, Washington has been growing apples, and for nearly a century, we've been the leading producer in the nation. But the heart of that story beats in the Yakima Valley. It's here where mountains meet rivers and orchards stretch for miles that apples found their perfect home. Let's step back in time and discover how this valley became fruit famous. Apples arrived in the Pacific Northwest via the Hudson Bay Company at Fort Vancouver. By 1836, several apple trees were already bearing fruit at the fort, and seeds were shared throughout the Northwest. Missionaries and settlers considered apples a staple for homesteading. They kept well, and pioneers loved hard apple cider. Over the next few decades, small apple orchards began dotting the landscape, from the misty fields of western Washington to the warm valleys of Walla Walla. As settlers moved north into the foothills of the Cascades, they learned that apples thrived in the long summers and cold winters. Eastern Washington's rich volcanic soils under the dry grasslands proved especially fertile and great for the trees. The Yakima Valley was exceptionally prime because of the Yakima River and its tributaries. In 1852, Catholic missionaries and the Yakima people dug the first irrigation ditch in the Yakima Valley.
Chief Ojai, chief of the Yakimas, was a resident out here, and as the story goes, he learned from the priests at a Tannin mission one winter while he was overwintering there, European irrigation techniques. And just a stone's throw away from us here is where he implemented those at a place called Ojai Gardens. And in establishing the gardens, he needed to continue to perpetuate, so he traded with the Hudson Bay Company for seeds for more traditional European crops, potatoes, etc. And he had a well-established garden and pastures there. He was grazing animals in this, what would have been the desert.
By the 1890s in the Yakima and Wenatchee valleys, new irrigation projects promised to turn sun-baked hills into thriving orchards. The arid climate also meant fewer insect and disease problems. Hopeful growers planted their first apple trees, waiting years to see if their gamble would pay off. And when those trees finally bore fruit, the land spoke for itself. These valleys were destined to grow something extraordinary. As the orchards grew, so did the realization that apple farming was no simple task. It demanded real expertise. Washington growers couldn't compete with the eastern orchards on cost, so they set their sights on quality instead. Farmers and scientists worked side by side to perfect the art of the Washington apple. Railroads made faraway markets accessible, and by the early 1900s, Yakima apple growers were shipping more than $1 million worth of apples each year. But growing great apples wasn't enough. They had to look the part. While Eastern growers packed theirs in a barrel that left fruit bruised and broken, Washington farmers wrapped each apple with care, nestled in wooden boxes lined with paper. Vibrant labels showcased Washington's mountains, rivers, and imagination, turning simple fruit into a symbol of pride. By the 1920s, Washington had done it. We'd surpassed New York to become the nation's top apple producer, a title we've held ever since. Competition among growers led to high-quality standards and the best fruit for consumers. Research conducted by Washington State College also led to improvements in the orchards. Farmers improved how they fertilized and managed pests, and new varieties made their way to the orchards. Washington apple standards are the most rigorous in the country. Today, the Yakima Valley stands at the heart of America's apple country, the nation's leading region for apple growing, stretching from Natchez all the way down to the Tri-Cities. Known throughout the world for being the best, Washington apples are more than a legacy for our state. They are a treat.